the General Service Unit of the police does not conduct this type of operations. It is not involved in this type of operations unless they have been called in by a special signal to take part in it, to take part in such an operation. So we still do not understand how the General Service Unit was actually involved in this particular operation that was supposed to have been conducted by the regular police. Apart from all these questions, we are now understanding, rather we have now been told that police have since recovered the allegedly stolen motor vehicle. The child we were told was a child who had been abducted now turns out to be a 26-year-old son who, we are now told again, is the one who took the motor vehicle and went to visit the mother around that particular area in Kiserian, which is in the same county where Mr. Sharif met his death. It has been a very disturbing event, it has been a very disturbing turn of events that makes everything look very fishy from where they begin to where they end. Those questions have made police not come out publicly to even make any form of announcements because they have been unable to find answers to these questions. But then the investigation shows the post-mortem examination has appeared to show that Mr. Sharif was actually shot between his shoulder and his head. So what this basically means in ballistics, in gun ballistics, it basically means that unless Mr. Sharif had turned his head to look backwards at the people who were shooting at the vehicle, then what that post-mortem examination report has done, it has placed Mr. Kuram Ahmed as a person of interest in the shooting of Mr. Sharif Mohammed, because he was shot, he appears to have been shot on the left side. Remember, Kenyan vehicles, the driver sits on the right. That is why we keep left, because the driver sits on the right. He was shot between his shoulder and the head on the right side. So that basically says one thing: unless he had turned backwards, then that examination has placed Mr. Kuram Ahmed as a person of interest in that report, given that police already say that they are the ones who fired first at police. We don't know how true that is, because they claim that police were shot. One of the police officers was shot in the wrist by the driver of the vehicle, who is Kuram Ahmed. Now, that again points the question: if it is the driver who fired that shot, we do not know then why the police did not aim for the shooter, but then the passenger, if indeed there was any gun involved, whereas the same has not been recovered at the site. But the most important thing that is coming out of this is that Mr. Kuram Ahmed has now been placed right at the center of this, Mr. Sharif's shooting. He's now a person of interest based on the post-mortem report. Not that the police have announced that, not that the police have said anything about it, but the post-mortem report appears to indicate that he is then a person of interest, given the trajectory of how that bullet burst open Mr. Sharif's head. Yes, there's a GSU camp around that particular area, but not for any specific reason, because in Kenya, there are just many camps, just like in Pakistan, where we have different police stationed in different places. We have military camps, or rather military bases in different places. So it's not for any reason that the GSU camp was set there, but it is also a fact that there is the Ammo Dump, which is a shooting range that is very close to that area somewhere in Quenya, at Quenya Farm, where the shooting range is based. But it is not because of that farm that the GSU camp is stationed there. Is that there have been allegations of the police being involved in violations of the law, of stifling the right to the freedom of speech, limiting people's rights to speak freely, being accused of many things, including that which I may say they are being accused of being involved in acts that are against our constitution. So that has been there, including kidnappings, those abductions you are talking about, and even extrajudicial killings. A general service unit means that they are called upon time to time to respond to different things that are happening, but they are not a regular service that you will see on the roads any other time something happens. So this is what I may call a general service unit. Basically means they can be called upon when anything important happens and the local police, rather the regular police, require a lot of assistance or backup. But the same has to be communicated in a very straightforward and clear paperwork to the general service unit, rather the GSU commandant. But everything else is done by the regular police. So the general service unit is only brought in special circumstances where there are killings in a place and we need to redeploy in that area to restore law and order. When maybe there are riots at any function or during any moment, and they are required to quell the tension that is that is happening in that particular place. So that basically is what appears to be part of the role of the GSU. And just the other day, we had one of the police units, that is the Special Services Unit, has been disbanded back here in Kenya, and some of the members of that unit are facing trial for what is being termed as acting outside the law and taking part in different extrajudicial executions of people whom they thought to have been criminals. These include the allegations that that team was behind the kidnapping and possible killing of 2 Indians and their Kenyan driver. These were Mr. Zulfikar Khan, who was said to be a media professional, and then we had a Mr. Mohammed Zaid said to have been brought in to be a part of then Deputy President William Ruto, now the President of Kenya, as a campaign team in the run-up to the August 9 elections. And then we had Mr. Nicodemus Mania, who was their driver. Some of their clothes have since been found in the Aberdare forest. That is a forest in central Kenya, close to Mount Kenya, where it's being claimed that those clothes may have belonged to them. But Kenya has about 14 non-units. The reason I'm calling them 14 non-units is because some of the units, like the Special Services Unit and others, they are not obviously recognized by law officially, or rather down in a book somewhere, but they exist in the police service.